Hello, I'm Jamie McIntosh, and today I'm going to inform you about staying cool in the summer heat and the consequences you will face when you don't take the necessary precautions. Last Sunday, I went to Worlds of Fun with 7 of my good friends, and although we did plan ahead, we did not take the extreme heat into consideration until we got there and we realized what we were in for. We did wear the appropriate clothing. We all wore tank tops and shorts, but we didn't bring any water, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning and it was already 90 degrees, and it was just really, really hot. Just walking in from the parking lot, it was just terribly hot already, and we were like, oh no. And when we got in the park, we immediately got bottles of water, and if it wasn't for the mist fans everywhere at Worlds of Fun and the air-conditioned place along the stops and between the roller coasters and everything, we probably would have gotten heat stroke or heat exhaustion if we didn't have any of that. And the water rides were a good touch too. And while extreme heat has consequences that can be fatal, there are easy ways to prevent anything from happening. Like we did at Worlds of Fun, we prevented it from happening, but it could happen. So I've lived in Kansas all my life, and if any of you know anything about Kansas, it gets dangerously hot during the summer, 106-degree weather every day. As soon as you step outside, it is toward the point you can't even breathe. And so a few of you may be used to the triple-digit temperatures if you work outside in them every day, but for others it may be more difficult to not get overheated. So today we'll be providing you with information about staying cool in the summer heat to avoid health issues. Heat waves kill more people in the United States than any other weather phenomenon, including tornadoes and hurricanes put together. The Centers for Disease Control states what happens to the body as a result of extreme heat. People suffer heat-related illness when the body's temperature control system is overloaded. The body normally cools itself by sweating, but under some conditions, sweating just isn't enough. Symptoms for heat exhaustion include moist and pale skin, chills, profuse sweating, headache, nausea, and is considered to be a medical emergency. Heat stroke, like heat exhaustion, is about the same thing. It comes with all of the same characteristics, but it is the most life-threatening heat disorder there is, and it's a little bit different. There's high body temperature, red and hot skin, rapid or weak pulse, rapid or shallow breathing, confusion, profuse sweating or absence of sweating, and or loss of consciousness. And obviously when it gets to the loss of consciousness, you should call an ambulance. People who are at greater risk of the heat stroke and heat exhaustion include infants, children up to 4 years, people 65 years of age or older, people who are overweight or ill or on certain medications. Gerald W. Dees from New York Amsterdam News states that young folks absorb greater amount of heat from the environment, which also causes an increase in body temperature. This is due to a greater body surface area. Sweating, although beneficial, also causes a great deal of fluid and electrolyte loss, and as a result there is a sodium and potassium loss. Now that I have given you an overview of the dangers heat waves can bring, I'd like to talk to you about ways to prevent it. According to an article in Newsweek, Ken Sepkowitz states that there's a confusion about what to drink. Sports drinks, those candy-colored concoctions of salt, sugar, and water, considering Gatorade, Powerade, they're all thirst quenchers, have a really powerful foothold in the exercise market, but they don't do anything useful. And water, and the point is to drink a lot of anything as long as it's not alcohol, but water is preferably the drink for the outside weather. And summertime means extra time for fun, and it means swimming and outdoor activities such as riding your bike, playing basketball, playing baseball, playing tennis, running. You have all the extra time to do that during the summer. It just stinks because it's just so hot in the summer. So people almost don't want to go outside, but they still do. And Coach and Athletic Director magazine Matt Brzezicki states that exercising in the heat and humidity places tremendous physiological demands on the body. When training or practicing in these conditions, you should employ the following guidelines. Acclimate to the environment, wear the appropriate clothing or equipment. I know that some people play football, So they wear a lot more, like shoulder pads and so on, and they need to consume sufficient fluids and maintain an adequate electrolyte balance. Now that I have explained some simple ways to prevent any heat disorders, I will now talk to you about ways that what you should do if you see someone else struggling in the heat. You've obviously taken all the necessary precautions, and you have drank water, you have your water with you, you've worn the appropriate clothing, you're cool, you're doing really good in the heat, but some people might not be so lucky, and you still need to watch out for the victims. Obviously, as I've stated before, heat stroke and heat exhaustion can be characterized as dizziness, strong pulse or weak pulse, and sweating. If you see someone who is just not doing too well and they're starting to sit down, you need to get them to a air-conditioned or cool area, hand them some water, dump water on them if you have to, do whatever you can, and if that doesn't work, you do need to call an ambulance. As a result of the steps I gave you to previously, you should have a different outlook on what you should do in the heat. Should you ever be a victim of heat stroke or heat exhaustion, you should find a cool place, as I've said before. And as I stated in my introduction, heat disorders have fatal consequences. So taking the necessary precautions is a must during the summer. You have to do it to keep your loved ones and you healthy and cool. And during the summer, water is a crucial thing. Don't ever think that you can't go anywhere without, or that you're okay without water, because if you are going outside, even for the littlest amount of time, you do need a bottle of water to keep cool. So I hope you all enjoyed my speech today, and I hope you've learned something about the extreme heat and the precautions you need to take, and I hope you all stay cool this summer. Thank you.